Russia has begun a mass coronavirus inoculation program using its Sputnik V vaccine, which is still in the final phase of testing. It comes as the country has reported a new daily record high of confirmed COVID cases. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is due to hold direct telephone talks with the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in a few hours' time. It's an attempt to break a reported deadlock over Brexit trade talks. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met key ministers in order to discuss the protest by tens of thousands of farmers on the outskirts of Delhi. The demonstrators are angered by agricultural reforms they say favour big business. The mayor of San Francisco in the United States is imposing new lockdown orders and business restrictions. London Breed says that the city is witnessing a spike in COVID infections unlike anything that it has seen so far.
We're exclusively reporting that U.S. prosecutors are discussing a possible deal with Chinese tech giant Huawei's CFO Meng Wanzhou, who faces wire and bank fraud charges. It would allow her to return home to China from Canada. Under the Justice Department's proposed arrangement, Meng would have to admit wrongdoing in the criminal case. Meng has so far resisted the Justice Department's proposal, according to people familiar with the matter. Meng has said she has been wrongly accused in the case. She declined to comment through a Huawei spokesman. A Justice Department spokesman declined to comment, as did a spokeswoman for Canada's foreign minister. Today, a Chinese foreign ministry spokeswoman didn't directly address the possibility of talks involving the Justice Department, but urged the U.S. to drop its extradition request and called on Canada to allow Meng to return to China. President-elect Joe Biden said yesterday he would ask Americans to wear masks for the first 100 days after he takes office next month. In a CNN interview, Biden also said he has asked Dr. Anthony Fauci to serve as a chief medical officer in his administration. Most Asian markets outside Japan finished higher, and European shares rose in early trading, a day after a mixed session on Wall Street. And today is Jobs Friday. Investors will be closely watching the employment numbers for November due out this morning. We have a lot more coverage of the day's news on the WSJ's What's News podcast. You can add it to your playlist on your smart speaker or listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Has 2020 disrupted your business and how you reach customers? SAP Customer Experience provides scalable e-commerce solutions that help you react quickly to changing business needs and deliver on customer expectations.
A capsule from Japan's Hayabusa 2 space probe has been observed re-entering Earth's atmosphere. It is believed to be carrying sand samples from the remote asteroid Ryugu. The capsule looked like a fireball or a big shooting star. Observers saw it above southern Australia at around 4 a.m. on Sunday local time. The container is expected to land in a desert in southern Australia. A team waiting near the expected landing zone will search for and retrieve it. The space agency's JAXA's control room is located near Tokyo in the city of Sagamihara. A public viewing was held there. Citizens were able to watch the capsule arrive.
I'm extremely happy because the capsule has returned home to Earth safely. Hayabusa 2 did a great job.
The container will be flown to Japan after it has been retrieved. It will be opened at a research facility. Its contents will be distributed to researchers. They will study how the solar system was formed. The Hayabusa 2 probe is already on a new mission to another asteroid. The probe is expected to reach its destination in 11 years. Now, the coronavirus situation in Japan, the health ministry says 520 people are in serious condition across the country, surpassing the record for 3 consecutive days. Tokyo has set another record of its own for daily infections, with 584 cases confirmed on Saturday. 55 people in the capital are in serious condition. The western prefecture of Osaka has had over 300 daily infections for 5 straight days. The local government raised its own coronavirus alert to its highest level earlier this week. Officials are asking residents not to go out unless necessary. A popular entertainment area that's usually crowded on weekends was relatively empty.
Local people are not coming out. It hurts the business. After all, the rent is high in this area, so it's really hard.
Health Ministry officials say some prefectures have surpassed the 50% mark for hospital bed occupancy. That's one of the criteria for a Stage 4 alert, the highest level on the alert system set by the government's advisory panel to measure the strain on hospitals. Officials reported more than 2,500 infections nationwide on Saturday. Over 2,300 people have died since the pandemic began. French President Emmanuel Macron says he believes compulsory coronavirus vaccinations would be counterproductive.
It's counterproductive to require the vaccine that we don't know everything about. It's more important to gain understanding with transparency than obligation.
Macron spoke to reporters and the public for 2 hours during an online program hosted on Friday by the Brut media outlet. France does not plan to make the coronavirus vaccination mandatory. The country says it will be available in January. Macron said health authorities and research institutes need to further evaluate the vaccine's efficacy. The latest government figures show that France has more than 2.2 million coronavirus cases, the highest in Europe. Nonetheless, in a survey conducted at the beginning of December, 61% of respondents said they would not get vaccinated. According to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University in the United States, the global tally for confirmed coronavirus cases has surged to about 66 million. The global death toll has topped 1.5 million. Authorities in Taiwan have banned publication of a Chinese picture book after it was criticized for glorifying China's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The book is about a child whose father is a doctor. It depicts him giving up his Lunar New Year holiday to help stop the spread of the virus. Some lawmakers in Taiwan took issue with the book's expressions, such as "Hang in there, China" and "Hang in there, Wuhan." The Culture Ministry banned the book after saying the necessary application for permission to publish it in Taiwan had not been made. Authorities in Taiwan say they respect freedom of the press but are stepping up their oversight. They say the book is part of Beijing's agenda to bring about unification. Google has started negotiating with Japanese media companies to sign them up as partners in its new program called Google News Showcase. The recently launched project involves Google paying news publishers to deliver their stories. Google has already signed partnerships with about 400 news organizations in 7 countries, including Germany and France. The company has invested more than $1 billion in the project. The move comes as an increasing number of news companies demand Google pay for stories that appear on its platform. Observers say Google apparently wants to ease frustration among news publishers. They also say the firm may be trying to diffuse accusations it is preventing fair competition by exploiting its monopolistic position. Japan's Prime Minister says the government is going to establish a $19 billion fund as part of a plan to make the country carbon neutral by 2050. Suga Yoshihide told a news conference the fund will provide support over a 10-year period to companies that take an innovative approach to environmental issues. He said the government will also promote the development of technology to mass-produce low-cost hydrogen as an energy source. Suga said the government aims to completely eliminate emissions of carbon dioxide from cars and promote the shift to electric vehicles. Media outlets in China are reporting 18 people have died after becoming trapped in a coal mine in the inland city of Chongqing. State-run China Central Television says 24 people were underground when carbon monoxide gas inside the mine increased to excessive levels. The incident occurred in the Yongchuan district at around 5 p.m. on Friday. 1 person has been rescued, but 18 others are dead, and 5 remain unaccounted for. The coal mine was shut down about 2 months ago. The accident happened while workers were dismantling underground equipment. In September, 16 people died at another coal mine in Chongqing after they became trapped by high levels of carbon monoxide. The International Ski Federation has canceled a series of events to test venues ahead of the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. This comes as the Chinese government continues to impose strict restrictions on the entry of international travelers amid the coronavirus pandemic. The FIS was set to hold several World Championship and World Cup events in Beijing from January through March to try out Olympic competition sites. But the entry restrictions have made this impossible, and the organization says it expects the situation to remain complex in the coming months. The FIS and Beijing Olympic Organizing Committee are instead hoping to test the venues by holding events with only Chinese athletes.